then all right, oh, somebody else coming too. At 7:31, I've got just another flash of somebody wanting something, so then otherwise I'm going to start if they're a little bit late. All right, okay. All right, everybody, this will be recorded. It will be posted onto YouTube. And if you haven't got a link or need a link, then I can send that to you as well. Please just send me an email if you wish, if you haven't got it. All right, I'm going to begin. Blending takes only a couple of minutes for me. I'm off on my way. A whole bunch of guides potentially, but it appears this is going to be a one major guide who I thought I knew lots about, but it turns out I do not. And I don't know who really he is in his purity, I suppose. Anyway. We'll find out. Should there be questions and answers, I don't know if that's what's going to happen either, then we'll get round to that near the end. Okay, if you're not in now, we're not in, so we're starting. Make sure this is off. Okay, everybody. So let's begin. It is with some joy in my heart that I sit through this medium and talk to you today. Just to get to this very point has been many years and much planning. But now we are here. And the definition and point of these teachings are not to be undertaken lightly and to be understood in their depth. Yet it is the understanding of what I say where you will gain your benefit. You will discover your joy. You will meet love. The truth of spirit. And all matters that wait for you in the world unseen. You may decide to continue your life as you do. This is your choice. But I come to show you another way. A way where society can accept the true nature of man. Rather than a false god of materialism. The worshipping of the body and mind. So let us begin with a story. A little after the Second World War, man then started a path of wanting more, of consumption, where consumption was promoted to the world. And the way out of that depression and all the horrors of that war, the answer was seen in the production of more and more items. The industry promoted dis-ease, discontentment, promoted life that you would not be happy if you did not have this. And they made changes to its products so that each year the previous model became outdated to encourage you to buy more. Consumption increased, but only at the expense of creating more waste. Mankind then started to chase satisfactions external to its body and mind. And then said, I will not be happy until I have achieved this or gained that. The egoic mind took more and more control. And the ego then says, I am not happy. It compares one to another, offers criticism, doubt, and says, I will be happy when. And in the comparison to other people, then mankind lost its identity and delayed or put the management of life into the hands of other people. So more and more people are hired to do the work that you can do yourself. The products offered are of poorer quality to encourage more consumption. Mankind puts its education into the hands of other people, and family values have declined. What used to be taken care of within the family or community is now put in the hands of others. The elderly and infirm are just pushed into one corner. The need for education is taken away from the parents and given to teachers. There is a decline in values. And then mankind wonders what is happening to the world. They ask questions about what is my purpose? Where do I go in life? What am I meant to do? How should I behave? Yesteryear, it was much different. Mankind put its value on its internal world, its connection to its spirit, and also to a deity or a group of deities. It worshipped different elements in the world. It saw that it was part of the world, and the world was part of themselves. So the rise of ego has meant that there is a separation between man and nature. But previously, man and nature existed together. In coming times, mankind will pay the price of this, as every action yields a consequence. And those consequences are on your doorstep. That those of you which are considered to be spiritual say that I am a spirit, or I am a spirit living a human existence. Well, your challenge is now. Your challenge to stand up and say, yes, I am spirit, and live from that spirit, rather than living from this lovely phrase that you have learned but do not understand. I have said in other talks that there are plenty of people that claim themselves to be mediums, to be spiritual, yet they only work from spirit during working hours and fail to live the rest of their life as if they are spirit or spiritual. And even during those working hours, it is spirit doing the work and not them. They make claims to being something that they are not. And this is spiritual ego. If you are indeed a spirit and a spiritual person, then live your life in that way. The whole day, every day. It was said to me recently, how do we do that? How do we live as if we are this spirit that you talk about? How do we find my own spirit rather than chasing another spirit, a guide, a relative, or the deceased loved ones of the person sitting in front of you? How do I find myself? How do I come back to that value which has been calling me all my life? How do I come to know myself as light and love? And even when I discover that, if I can, then what? What do I do then? In the last series of talks, I gave an exercise. And an exercise which those who have practiced will know that it does indeed make a difference to their lives. And that practice was simply to build love internally, either when attempting to connect to spirit or to undertake a connection or relationship with another person, to build love. If you practice this purely, then you will know. You will know that answer to be true. That exercise alone will change your life and the life of all you touch. Will have the influence of love and many other factors. But the simple words of building the love is problematic for some. It sounds so simple, yet how do I do it? What does it feel like? What does it mean? So tonight it is that talk that I undertake. And I begin the discussion on your spiritual heart. Even within the New Testament of the Bible, it talks of two hearts and says that the fools follow the one on the left and the wise the one on the right. In the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, he talks and says that I am the heart of man. Shakespeare mentions words, words, words are no matter to the heart. So what is this heart? What is this second heart that I talk of? Now let me be clear that if you are tempted to grab a knife and to open your chest, you will not find a second physical heart. This is not a physical organ. And for some following the New Age chakra system will also understand that there is a lower and an upper heart chakra. And there are two distinct colors represented there. If you were to say to a little boy or a little girl, who did your homework? Who went to the shop? They always point to their chest. They do not point to their legs doing the work or their hand doing the writing. They always point to their chest, never the head. The essence of man is considered to be within this heart. And you will find science starting to agree that there are at least the potential that memories can be stored within the heart as well as within the brain. Now that second heart is the spiritual heart. And it is that heart that I am suggesting that you live from. When you come into the heart of man, those of you which are closed-hearted or cold-hearted, if you prefer, those people tend to be very much driven by their minds. They like facts, they like figures, they like order, they like things to follow routines and patterns. They worship intellect. They worship knowledge, data, information. A cold-hearted or closed-hearted person does not relate to others very well. Sees everything as just needs and wants. Sees people as wanting this and giving that. Everything appears to be a transaction. I sell, you buy. Then they do not connect to this nature of others. They struggle with the love connection. They would go through life and think, I have never been in love. Then there are those people which hold pain in their heart. Pain of, let us say, an injury, an emotional injury. Something they do not wish to shine to the world or feel they are less because they have a particular issue or problem. Yet they are heart-centered persons. And in being heart-centered, they then seem to be inconsistent with their speech, wanting to talk from their heart, but feel it is unsafe to go there, and choosing instead to talk with their mind. But the heart tries to shine through their speech and their demeanor. So there tends to be inconsistency in the way that they talk. And they may talk with the intention of appeasing other people, saying what other people would like to hear or what they believe they would like to hear. They are inconsistent in their viewpoint at times. Sometimes black is black and sometimes black is white, and various shades in between. As they battle between wanting to be in the heart and feeling too unsafe to be there. These people often feel misunderstood and feel like they do not fit in. They can be in a crowd and feel lonely and do not understand that all they need to do is to open their heart. Man has access to all the qualities of spirit. And I mean the pure qualities of pure love, of truth and joy beyond measure. I am not talking about a love which lasts but minutes and fades when the other person says something you do not agree with, but love that is not dented by words and actions. Underneath many of the countries in this world, there are large lakes of fresh water, which man in the future will begin to mine and to draw that water up. That fresh water deep below the earth's surface will be used, and then those countries doing that will be the equivalent of those drilling oil now. You see, below the surface of the earth lies water, fresh, pure water, filtered through the surface of the earth over many millions of years, unaffected by sunlight and the impurities that exist above. It is no different to your physical demeanor. You have access to this purity. It lies just below your surface, in this spiritual heart I describe. And mankind does not need to be it. It just needs to remove the obstacles that is in the way to it. And then the purity of love is available. It is available for you all. It is available to you right now. Let me remind you, I am not talking about a conditional love. Rather, I am talking about a pure love. It is often said in your world that the essential nature of man is love. Well, this is both true and incorrect. The Creator created this love as a small expression of his virtue. Therefore, it is not the whole thing, but part. Rather like an apple. The sweetness of an apple, it does not describe the whole apple. It is just a quality of an apple. There is also crisp and crunchiness and color and shape. So how do you access this pure love? How do you come to your spiritual heart? One exercise that may give you a brief glimpse. For those of you which follow the chakra system, that you would understand that the chakras are open to various degrees. Should they be allowed to open fully, rather like a flower going from partly closed to fully open. If you were to work through your whole chakras from base to top, or if you prefer from your base chakra to crown, and let each chakra open, the act of this is one of removing the inhibiting factors that stand in the way of the flow of this energy. You can, at these points, discover for yourself where your blockages are. And then your journey of cleansing begins at that point. For those of you that follow a path different to that, and do not worship or follow or understand the chakra system, there are other ways to work. Now, this spiritual heart, it is not hindered by any hurts or any pains. It does not carry past injuries, and it does not hold future intent. It is free. It is still. It is unconditional. It does not judge, it does not criticize, and it does not compare. It is that lighthouse that just shines. So how do you allow this heart then to shine? Your first step is to let go of all allow the little annoyances that you have to let go of that which bothers you. Start with the small and build your way up from there. You then should let go of desires that you carry, the desire to be right, the desire to know, the desires to control your emotions, the desire to take place in the material world, the desires to be rich or famous or own a certain asset. All this delays your happiness until tomorrow and not fulfill your destiny today. You should let go of those which grieve you, those that you are not right with, that you hold pain over. And you should avoid any resistances that you may have to certain situations. If the fear arises to tackle something, let the fear rise, but do not follow it. And then it will gently slip away. If you look at these initial exercises, I am not asking you to pick anything up. Rather, I am asking you to dust away what is there. And you can allow then the access to that body of love that exists. You are carrying the blockages which inhibit the unconditional love that lies just below your surface. And I repeat to you, this is not a love which will come and will go. Will love somebody one day and not the next. This is a love where you can make no error. You carry no sin, and nothing will stop it loving another person. So if you had trouble with the exercise of building the love in your heart before any activity or before connecting and blending with spirit, there is a blockage that you have to allowing that love to flow. And those blockages are described in 5 different blockages. I have spoken of these before and will speak of those again. Many of the blockages are pain which appears to be real. Those which are carrying the emotional pain of hurt, of something lost, something not gained. those which are carrying that pain, you should know that you carry it in your mind and not in your heart, yet it is felt in the heart. It is still safe to go to your heart. Mankind believes that you can be damaged, and indeed your body and mind can be damaged. But your spirit cannot. Your spirit is whole, it is complete, it is that body of water below the continents of the earth. You have believed and learned to believe through the conditioning of man that you'll be more if you gain and less if you lose. That is not true. Your spirit remains untouched. Your spiritual nature is pure. Stop believing in the external diatribe of just rubbish. If you wish to be spiritual, be spirit. I am asking you not to be spirit just between the hours of 9 and 5, on a Monday to Friday. I am asking you to be spirit 365 days, 24 hours each day. And live fully from that spirit by simply letting go of what is in the way to that spirit. Stop worshipping the false gods of the material world. An enlightened Zen monk said, "Be still and know." Now, all of those activities I mentioned start with letting go of the little annoyances and building into the bigger ones, and choosing to walk and live from the heart on the right. If you do this, not only will love be available, peace, equanimity, kindness will shine forward, full awareness, full knowledge, the voice of spirit, contentment beyond any physical asset could give you. You may meet your creator by whatever name you describe that creator to be. However you worship that creator. But finding Your creator exists through that heart by letting go of the little annoyances that bother you. Now you all, I am sure, would understand that there is much at stake, much to be gained by simply revealing what is already there waiting. And you may say, I will begin that path later. I will let go of my little annoyances, but not when somebody pushes in front of the queue. I will let go of the little annoyances, but not when my coffee becomes cold. It is in the minuscule detail that your work begins. And let me be clear on this. You will have to walk this path at some time. Just the time you start and the time it takes is in doubt. Not whether you will walk the path or not. The fact that you are here now, listening, taking part, understanding, making notes, is a sign that you are willing to walk the path. It is not a path of destination. It's a path of expression. So never has a truer word been said than this. Start from the spirit and work from there. Now, my talk today is at an end. I have pointed you in a direction. I ask for you to do nothing but to remove the blockages in the way. I ask for you to not listen to the egoic voice which says, all very interesting, but does not apply to me. I ask you to, those of you which are hurt, to still go to your heart. And I ask quite finally that you become nothing other than who you really are. Now I will continue this discussion, and I will continue on a very similar line, but different next week. It is your choice, but between now and then, let go of all the small annoyances that bother you. And and find out if what I am saying to you is true or not. Do not follow my words if they are a lie. Only follow my words if they are the truth. Because I come from the land of truth. Until next week, I bid you all good day, good evening, good afternoon, as I withdraw now into my silence, into my spiritual heart. God bless you all.